Hello, everyone. Just wanted to take a few minutes to give you some clarity on this concept map and what it is that I'm really seeking for you to conceptualize as you do this activity. And you'll be reading from Make It Happen the first, I guess it's about the first 20 pages. And as well as that and the DeFore Learning by Doing. And so we want to think about how does the PLC four critical questions fit within that inquiry cycle that is talked about in Make It Happen. And an inquiry cycle is the plan, do, study, act. And this is a very well-known systemic model of what businesses use, any kind of problem-solving planning process when you're working through a system. It is that inquiry cycle of, we plan something and then we practice it, we do it, and then we study our results, and then, act upon that knowledge and analysis. Obviously, much like the PLC and the four critical questions. So I've created just a few little slides here, and you have this in PDF form as well. But when you think about the four critical questions of the PLC team, and I want you to think through, again, through that inquiry cycle, how does this fit? So the first question is, what do we want all students to know and be able to do? And this is where, you think about that planning process. Teachers are asking, what is it? What's in our curriculum? What's the standard? What's within that standard that the students all have to know and be able to do in order to be successful and finish this unit or to finish this grade level? And then they're asking themselves the next question, how will we know as teachers if they've really learned it, right? And so this is where you're doing it. You're teaching it, but you're gathering some type of information like a formative assessment or a summative assessment. And then you're studying the results. And so you're asking in that PLC, how will we respond when some students do not learn? And then how will we extend the learning for those who have already measured to be proficient? So you're addressing that, you're studying the results, and then you're going to intervene on those gaps for the students who are not learning and for those who have already mastered. So when we think about, and we put this in perspective of the, four critical questions, think about the triad, you've seen this many times, of the of curriculum alignment, where it is the curriculum that dictates the instruction, as well as connects to the assessment. And there's not one that is more important than the other necessarily. They all must be aligned. And so going from looking at backward design, you'll look at the assessment. What is it they have to know? And then here's our curriculum. How will I teach it in order for them to be successful on that assessment? So evaluating, right, and planning and adjusting, it's this continual cycle. And so then we put it into perspective of the PDSA cycle. Now this particular graphic is in the Make It Happen book, and you can find that on page 13. But when you think about backward planning, what that's your assessment, right? You're looking at that. Then you're implementing that instruction and assessment. You're studying those results, and then taking action on them and going back through the planning process. So what is that cycle? Well, it's building the capacity of education practitioners to use continuous improvement as a systematic approach for identifying areas of improvement, implementing intended improvements, collecting data related to implementation, studying those data, and then using the evidence for decision making. And I want to just focus on this systematic approach. So PLCs is a system in our schools. Again, this inquiry cycle is used in businesses, corporations. This is definitely nothing particularly new, but I want us to think about how this really fits and drives the PLC process. So I'm asking you to create a concept map, and this is just a very simple one. Take this graphic if you want. Think about applying those questions within each quadrant. And then I want you to think about what are the implications for leaders as an instructional leader, which principals are called to be the #1 instructional leader on the campus. What are the implications for you during the planning stage, during the do and the study and the act? And begin to kind of conceptualize how this all kind of fits together. So how do you see your role in the PLC process? So I want you to read through those critical questions and the collective inquiry process. Which question do you anticipate being the most challenging for you, and why? Choose a question and support that action that you'll work on for improvement. These are things that you want to think through while you're writing your paper analysis, or your reflection. Okay. Now these questions can also be found. I really love this graphic because it can also be found in your Make It Happen book. So as you think about yourself as an instructional coach, here's your 4 critical questions. What are the things that as instructional leaders you should be doing? For example, in the first question, what do we want students to know and be able to do? As instructional coaches, you will want to identify and help your teachers identify the pacing essential standards. To clarify the end, what is it that we want the students to be able to master? And then unwrapping those standards and identifying effectual instructional strategies that result in those high leverage learning. So hopefully this little video was helpful for you. Again, please reach out if you're still kind of confused or you need some more direction. And I will continue to put out these instructional kind of small videos for your help. Thank you.